Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect, where in the previous episode we got a fair amount done. It was mainly focused around the ancillary rooms, so the chapel, shop, classroom, laboratory, library, that sort of thing, and overall we got things graded quite happily. We're currently working on a couple of grants, the main one being the inmate nutritional research, which we're currently serving the 3 high variety, high quantity meals for 2 days. In total we've got 22 prisoners with 22 grand plus a bit of change in the bank, although as you can see we are on a negative daily cash flow. Not that it's a huge issue with the way we're going through the grants, and also we do plan on building in this episode the other cell block over here. Speaking of that, obviously, we've went and done some grading. If we go over to our logistics and the room quality, we can see we've got quite a good of grading around here. Now, there's a couple of things we need to chop and change. Things like the gymnasium and the common room are probably about right. We're probably not going to touch anything else in there. However, we do want to segregate this yard, actually put some things around it. In fact, I'll do that right now. Fence with grass because, well, we have the option for it. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to be able to assign the yard so only particular people can go in it. At the moment, obviously, we've only got one type of prisoner, which is the medium risk, and the problem with the medium risk having access to everything at the moment is actually there's not a problem with them having access to these bits, because these are the ones they probably should have access to, but it's when we get some other rating of prisoner and we can't assign them specifically to these ones. Obviously, we do have our deployment thing where we can go for custom sector, which we have set up some low and medium in each one of these, because the other ones will be high or the high won't be allowed, that sort of thing, but at the moment we can't assign that to the yard. There's also a discussion to maybe do the same thing with the canteen. Now, there's many ways we could go about it. We could very much have separate canteens and kitchens and have the canteen as a really horrible mess with no extra stuff in there, and then obviously grade up the canteens as we go along. However, I think for the time being what we'll do is we'll have the separate common rooms and the gym and have those graded so that the higher risk prisoners want access to those and the better cells rather than places where you eat. We don't, as far as I'm aware, have to have maximum grading on everything, so that's why we're just focusing on these main ones here. Anyway, going over to our walls and doors and then over to doors, we do need to put a door around this yard here. We've got the grey doors in there, which I know has has been a bit of a thorn in some people's sides, because we should have put those as the jail door orange, which I agree we should probably end up redoing that, but we'll see how we get on. This yard is now obviously surrounded by the fence, so we'll need to sort that out with some doors. And speaking of doors, we're going to go with a standard large jail door, which we will put in probably right opposite the... Actually, do we want to put them there, or do we want to put them down top and bottom? I think the top and bottom is not unreasonable. That should be about right. It's in the middle, and it's pretty much okay anyway. We don't have a punching bag in the yard. I don't plan on putting one in. I believe a punching bag can give them some extra traits. I'm going to lock open these doors because there's no real reason not to at this stage. I'm also just going to double check the grading on that, and we can still see, it's actually less now, because it says there's a minimum room size of 200 squares, and it doesn't tell me what the squares are. However, I'm guessing that we've went under that, so it's a bit of a shame. It's actually went down to 7, I think. I'm pretty sure that was 9 before, but yeah, I'm not going to put a punch bag in because I believe that can transfer traits over, so it's something I really don't want to be dealing with. Obviously, we've got things like the shop and other things and people working in there. Prison labour, I haven't actually assigned to the shop, so I should probably do that. We've also got some parole there. Max jobs 3, that would be in the mail room over there, which we currently haven't got, nor have we got the library. I'll assign the jobs to both the mail room and that, and we might as well build these, so we'll go to brick wall and then we'll place these in like so. We will have the mailroom and doors need to be placed on. Parole, we do need some doors on there, so let's go over to our doors section and then visitor door. Visitor door can go on either side. I believe the mail is delivered by the guards, so we could probably go ahead and just have a staff door on that one. And then finally 1, 2, 3 doors on there as well. The library is, I believe, a similar thing. I don't know if we need anything other than a staff door on the back there. We'll put that in there, and obviously we'll furnish all these as we progress on. So things like the parole, it's quite an easy one to set up. We'll scroll right in, visitor table, and then we'll put this one, I prefer to put it about there, there, and that should do that. Mailroom is a sorting desk with tables. So sorting desk, there's only one size for the sorting desk, so I'm going to place it probably on the right hand side there. And you also need some tables. Now you could go with tables small, but I think we'll have a table either side followed by a small table in the middle. There's that one sorted. Library is similar. You need sorting desks and also some shelves, so we'll place in some is this graded? I don't know if this actually gets graded. I'll have to check that in a moment. Anyway, so we need a sorting desk, so we can see that if we scroll down we have the option for sorting desk. So 1, 2, and then we also need some library shelving. So bookcase, no, it is library shelving, which as far as I can tell is actually the same, but there you are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there is our library as well. Current sleep time, and I think we'll do a shakedown. We haven't done one for at least 30 seconds, so it's not unreasonable to crack on and get one of those done, so that is fine. We also need to run some more utilities in, so one can go in there. The rest of these are actually powered up, so that is fine. And danger level going up, and we found some stuff. Let's just slow it down for a moment, and we'll check out just to see what we've found. So last 24 hours we've got a needle which was traded, hidden, and overall thrown in over there. That's the main one. Scissors, same sort of thing, thrown over. Poison was thrown. Cell phone thrown. There's a very distinct pattern here, isn't there? Basically, it's being thrown. Everything's being thrown over. And even doing that search, you can see that we haven't actually got everything, which is interesting. Anyway, over to logistics and room quality. No, we have a room quality for the classroom, and obviously we did put the blackboard in and the window behind it. Had a little chuckle on that one and other stuff. So that is now highly graded. And yeah, I think I do want, as much as I can, get the education level high as possible. It seems reasonable. Over to our deployment and to our... actually, we'll go to custom sector, and it'll be medium and min. So for the parole, it is medium min. That's fine. The library, I'm currently going to set to medium min as well. Not this one, though. The classroom education for everybody, that's fine for the time being. What I will do, though, in policy, I am going to turn off the mail and visitation. I'm turning off visitation for the Supermax, but we don't have any. Not that we plan on having any anyway. I don't know. I might go back on that statement, but it's low to high is what we're planning on having. But visitation we'll have, but it'll be in this one here, which will be closed off. That's for the high risk. They won't, however, get mail delivered to those. Prison labour, those two are not allowed to work. And programs, no work for both of those. No education for Supermax, no well-being. I don't know. See, we're starting getting onto like, there you go, alcohol group therapy, behavioural therapy, and spiritual guidance. Perhaps we'll keep that on there. See, this is privileges. I don't class well-being as being a privilege. I'd class it as, human rights in certain cases. Behavioural therapy, alcohol group, spiritual. I don't know. I know what it's saying by well-being, I guess. Okay, fair enough. We'll keep them on for that one, but you can see there's now a distinct pattern for certain things, and maybe even the medium risk prisoners will turn off work, but the problem is that low risk doesn't tend to work, so we'll have to see how we get on. Over to programs, and we're going to go down to spiritual guidance. That's in the queue, that's fine. Down to general education, nobody interested, but we are doing foundation education. We have alcohol group on the queue, not going to bother. Guard taser, 20 in the queue, we'll start that up. Parole hearing, we also have 7 in the queue, so we'll start that up as well. And as we can do for the most part, just max this out. It doesn't matter how many you put in there because it doesn't cost any money to run a parole hearing session. So we'll set that on the go. 75% for inmate nutritional research, so that is pretty good, but we are down to 13 grand, and that's going to drop quite a noticeable amount once we get the grant done for... Once we get the grant done for the... Not the grant, the training done, sorry, for the guard taser certification, because they're going to go rush ahead and grab some stuff there. Haven't got any people in parole, which is a problem. You do want people guarding parole, because if they kick off, then, there's going to be some violence there. We do have, how many? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Active connections 7. Okay. So I want, ideally, some CCTV in here. One either side. Okay. For the time being then, I'll work on the principle that we'll just have one of these CCTV cameras. Put a little bit further up, actually. There we go. And then we will connect that up. And then we have line of sight to both of them, and indeed over here as well, so that's fine. It doesn't, you know, it does go through walls, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Okay, so that's fine. In terms of grants, inmate nutritional research, fine. Tool cleanup, you need at least prisoners, at least 40. So the problem that we have is that we don't have this. And we can't build it because we don't have the money. Quick build clone. We can see that the cloning for that is going to cost a guesstimated, it says 470. Or does that mean we've no? Yeah, that's wrong. I don't know what it's saying there. Okay. Here's the thing. We've got all of these cells with grading. But these are grade 3 out of 15, low grade. We want these cells, being the normal grade, to be at least 6 or 7. Medium, we want them in the middle. That's the whole point. So we need to redo some of these, or at least put some more stuff in to increase that grading. The problem with that is I will have to put more stuff in, and then we've got even less money to build the things we need. Right, okay, so I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to pause it and dump every single one of these doors, which is a complete waste of money. I hear what you're saying. I can hear the furious tapping in the comments right now, but we're going to clone it, and these are going to be medium risk. So we get rid of these. We can put in the proper coloured ones. Or do we need to? Because we were going to put the ones on the outside. You know what? No. No, let's not. Because we could probably think about converting these over to... I was going to say Supermax, but certainly not Supermax, but like protective custody and that sort of thing. Not that we need this many protective custodies, but... we were going to do the wall around the outside a different colour for the grading. I was going to put another medium up here in the proper medium colour, and then the bigger one for all the prisoners. Okay, right. In that case then, it is a case of just cloning this. And seeing how we get on. I just said 19 grand cash flow positive. Have I missed something? No bank loan. But we gained 19 grand for placing this. Once it's built, is it going to go really bad? Right. So I think what it's done is it's give us the cash to place it, and now it's taking that off to build it because we're still in negative, so they won't be able to fully finish this thing. I mean, they will, because there's that grant, which means I can then get other stuff as well. So I'm going to go over to our regime. I'm going to change the middle eat time to be lockup, like it should be. There has been some comments regarding the lack of a dedicated yard time. We don't have one. You don't really need one if you've got excess free time, which we have at least 2 hours of free time, and 8 hours for anyone that doesn't have a job. So that's why we don't have it, and then they can meet their needs in the yard as they see fit. We are going to have probably food. Let's just say all medium quantity, medium variety. and we'll alter that later on as we go. Haven't really bothered with that other than defaulting it, so that's fine. So we have raise your capacity to 50, which we are working on. We won't get that, but we'll be on our way. In terms of intake, we are filling to capacity, which is going to be the medium sec over here. There is a bit of violence. I don't know where that is. In here, for some reason. Okay. Don't know what that was, but there was a bit of blood over there. I don't know whether they attacked staff. 18 hours, extremely strong. I don't know why they've done that then. Obviously, we've had the problems with people trying to go over the wall. It has yet to be successful, which I'm happy to admit, which is good. But in terms of needs, there's some spirituality needs and some luxury needs there. Some things like alcohol will be fulfilled by stuff getting thrown over the wall. Don't know why there's one critical need for freedom. Probably because they've been in lockdown for quite like a severe amount of time. But there you are. But these ones here, we're probably going to put in the extra stuff as we progress on. But these were sort of the ones we had to put in just to allow us to function as a facility rather than like the expansion one. In hindsight, probably a medium map would have been the way forward. Would have allowed us to build some more stuff. There's the $3 grand for the guard taser certification. We've just received some prisoners, which means hopefully if I go over to our grants, we now should have... No, we don't. We don't have crackdown on drugs. And the reason for it is you need at least 30 prisoners. We've just accepted several prisoners, but they're not currently on the map. As soon as they turn up and this ticks over, like that, we can then go and get crackdown on drugs. Find 10 legal narcotics. Done. Straight away, done. And that gives us a nice amount of cash there. So here is our intake here. Looks like we've got a face in game there. Adrian Corporate Lackey. There we go. Prison number 119715. Fair enough. If we go over to intelligence and informants, we have 3 traits, and we don't know what those are. We have snitch, still, and ex-law enforcement, or 2 snitches actually, and an unknown trait. But there you are. Not too much of a problem at the moment. Obviously, we don't have the protective custody or anything, and we don't have a solitary area, but I would like to expand to the left in order to get that done. So, and that also gives us the option to do some work and that sort of thing. Maybe flooring in first, though. I don't know whether that would be a good idea or not. Over to staff, actually. You're going to see about getting 2 more cooks. I think that would be beneficial with the stuff that we have here. I'm hoping that this is the right size. We can always put some more cookers along there if we do so desire. That's fine. So we need a solitary. We need a protective custody. And yeah. We also need some water in this building here. I'm going to lock open that door. Lock open. And same thing for this one here. You can see, obviously, it's still highlighted with the clone tool because it's not yet fully built. And there's an escape. Wow. Wow. Okay. So they've literally just went straight over the wall. They've just climbed straight over. It's something that we expected to happen. But I would have thought we'd have got a little bit more warning than that. Right. Shows you the limitations of having this single offence. It's not something we would ever do willingly, but obviously we planned on expanding anyway. The whole point is that we expand and then we put the proper fence around it. But at the moment, not so much, as you can see. There is a solution. The solution is... block off these bits, there, and there. And then all this can be staff only. That would be a temporary solution. It's not actually a terrible idea, is it? Stopping them going around on the exterior there. No. But probably quite temporary. Anyway, while they're cracking on with this bit here... I also need to put the metal detectors in. I am very well aware of that. I'm trying to think, where is the Where do we need to focus on? Well, for a start, we need to sort out our patrols. We do need a dog patrol around the outside of this area, so let's set up that. It shouldn't be too much of a hassle. And there we go. Assign dog handlers. Click, and that is now in. We also need to assign a blue patrol inside of the facility here, and we'll get that up like that. And then assign guards, and click, and there we have the guards inside. And there's also some guards walking along there as well, which was a temporary thing. But I am going to add in another one over here as well, just to make sure that we don't have people legging it over that as well, and then we'll assign a guard to that. Speaking of guards, we have a total of 20 regular guards, and we have 4 dog handlers as well. So 9 available for the standard guards and 1 available for the dog, which is a fairly decent ratio. That's not too much of a problem. Obviously, you can see it's work time now, so people are making money. If we zoom in, we can see that we've got $8, 15 generic units of currency, 2 rubles, 2 euro. Yes, other generic units of currency are available, and yeah, at least they're working and they'll be able to do that. And then obviously people working in the shop, ironically, something which they can then spend their money at, although they'll probably end up nicking it because of the prisoners. A bit of profiling there, but you know, whatever. And where are they off to? The fact that we're running really quick that way and didn't go in the closest door. Oh, there we go. There is the escape attempt. So this is them trying to go over there. Ah, see that? What's happened is they've stolen a climbing rope and they are trying to get over. Right. Okay. That is a problem. That is a very big problem. Over to our... okay. Logistics, prison labour. We're turning off work for the laundry. I'd rather the janitors and workers deal with that than have to sort out... Hang on, that's a repair climbing rope. No, you don't repair the climbing rope. You get rid of it. I don't know what it's saying there. Let's prioritise that, and I want to see what it does. Yeah, it did. It repaired the climbing rope. Why you dump the climbing rope, you fools? Why would you repair it? You know that yeah, that Stephen Rennie character. Yeah. No, what about him? Well, he tried to use that climbing rope, and it wasn't very good. You know, it it broke when he was trying to do that. We should sort that. And now we've got Chislet Tirim also trying to do the same thing, and he didn't get very far, did he? Okay, fine. So we've got programs. Guard taser. 11 in the queue, 10 finished, 9 passed. Okay, so we still need to do some more. That's fine. We've removed that. Finally. And, looks like this is built. So now we can start to run some utilities. So electrical cable will go up to about there. Same on the other side, like so. Just following the rough sort of plan on that one. This one, we will need to run pipework down. And then across to there. Yep. And then the pipework comes down there. Across. And like that. And there we are. So that's the electrical cables and the pipework. That's fine. Generator's fine, but once you consider we need to add in, well, metal detectors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Been meaning to add those for quite some time. There's no real reason why we have to do that. The main one being that if someone gets something thrown over the wall, they then can go through there and it'll get detected, rather than having to wait for them to go through these metal detectors. So there is a reason for that. What I'm going to do as well, sorry, I've obviously assigned this laundry to be, well, no one to work there, but I haven't assigned it to staff only, which means they can still go in there and still nick stuff. So yeah, it's important that we change that to staff only. What am I looking for? That one. So people arrived, 3 traits, unknown traits. Seems... Oh, there's a Stokel and Snitch and a couple of unknown traits. Looks like the bridge is working as intended. They are going up and over and across, which I was happy with the design of that, and it seems to be working out quite well. Medium sec only. All of those. That's fine. Not that we need to, but I will set up custom sector for that yard. Why on earth the armory and corridor connecting to it is not set to staff only, I do not know. But it's sorted now. Electrical cable needs to be run to these locations. Like so. That'll connect that up. And probably, quite frankly, make this quite a hot running generator. It'll be over the 80% mark, which means it can set on fire. But we'll see how we get on. Look at that. Teacher can't use the visitor door. They're waiting for someone to open the door. So it's not a visitor door. Or the teacher isn't a visitor. Do you want to make your mind up, game? Anyway. Some people are just sitting in here. Is it because it's work/free time? Ah, because they've got locked down because of an attack. They've attacked staff, that sort of thing, yeah. There's reform session done. Ah, have 10 prisoners pass the foundation education course. Good. I'm going to stop the guard taser certification. I'm going to go down to general education, which 3 are interested. I will set that on the go. And we'll hopefully do the 1 prisoner pass the general education course. Historically, this was one of the most, if not the most difficult grant to do. It would be very, very difficult. I just picked up tool cleanup there, by the way, and it did it straight away. I'm also going to pick up our prison manufacturing grant. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy the land to the left. Okay, so we now have bought the land to the left. This is going to be our first expansion, something that we did say we were going to focus on. We need to go and remove a lot of these trees. And when I say a lot, I mean all of them, and completely deforest the entire area. This in itself will actually give us a lot of money. So it's one of the advantages of putting on forest. Obviously it takes you time to remove those, but you also get the money from it. So while they are working on that, obviously we are going to have a wall that goes around the outside. The difference being is that we'll have to start thinking about the double wall, because we don't want stuff to be thrown in. So what we'll do is from this here, we want to measure 12, and that's where the wall will go, because they can stand there, and then we want a gap of 9, then 10, 11 including those, so it's 12, sorry, it's 13 to where they're going to throw in, so it actually can be there, so that's fine. So it's a gap of 8, 9, 10, which means it's 12 to flinging to the edge. I think that's the calculation, although if I'm wrong, because if it doesn't count walls, then we could be in for some bother. Just to make it right sure, I think it's from throwing in from there. So it's 1, 2, yeah, and it goes from this there. So it would be, there's the maximum thrown distance. But if it doesn't include walls, then yeah, I'd rather make sure we have a little bit extra. I mean, I could just have a gap of 10 on this edge anyway, like that. There's your gap of 10, like that. It's not unreasonable. We've got the space, we might as well. So, that fence will run all the way along here. But, what we're going to do, we're going to measure to the middle, which should be 40. To there. Just going to double check. 40 to there. 41 to there. So that is the middle, right? Okay. What I want to do is have something like this. Alright. Now, what we've done here, we've got a box at the back in the centre of the map. This will have a jail door on there, followed by a couple of metal detectors, followed by a guard dog walking around here. This, when we need to, can be set to access by anyone. Which means that once we've finished the facility, the only possible place for contraband to be thrown in is going to be here, because it is the only one that's closest to the edge. Now, this was directly... this is someone directly commented and said about this. And actually, you can make money off this if you have the warden that gives you a percentage of the amount of contraband that you take. We don't have that. But what we do is have a lot of policies that we can eventually punish them for taking this contraband. So it gives us more options. At minimum, we can just close it off. You know? There's no big issue there. We can just close it off. So you can see money is going up. Quite a good amount of money, happy to say. We need to remove this wall. We need to put in the wall in there on the outside, but I'm waiting for them to crack on with all of this first. It's currently asleep. I'm going to do a shakedown. I'm going to search all. I'm also going to go to staff and go 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Because we do have 44 prisoners, so I think it's not unreasonable to search the rest of this one. So what I want to do is have a couple of areas built. So back over to planning and to walls. And I want to have an area that will probably come along here, up here, and... Let me just check actually. What is the distance of that? That is 23. And what's this distance? 22. Brilliant. So what I want essentially is to have something in the middle here that's going to be... This will be directly set to be protective custody. This will be protective custody. We then need some solitary. The solitary is a little bit more difficult because I don't know exactly where to put it. We also need workshops. Now the workshops are a lot easier because the workshop's going to be along here and then something like that. Now I'm just going to double check. It should be 12 by 20, I believe, is the ideal. 12 by 21, that's fine with me. There's a workshop. Same on the other side. These are probably the only workshops we're going to have in the facility. But let's just put them in. Or at least plan them off. So there's the workshops there. Furthermore, out the back of here, we'll have basically a yard. A huge open area behind fencing. That'll be forestry. This will be forestry. But you'll have to go through the workshop to get to it. On the back here, this is where we have our solitary. I think that would be reasonable in the first instance for the amount of solitary that we need for this. Let's roughly work out the layout of said solitary area. We could do that. Have a very, very basic solitary. Where it is literally that. Solitary all the way down single ones. In shrinking that down, not a problem. We have the technology. So we'll be that. Now, I don't believe these would be graded. But we could always, if we wanted to, grade them. Strange that one, isn't it? The one at the end does that. Just because of the size of it. So even if we did that, it would still be the same size. It matters not. Okay. Something like that. I'd be tempted to have... It's something like this. I should really keep it unpaused because I'm trying to get rid of these trees. Okay. That. So, down to there, down to there. And we can have 2 security rooms if need be. I don't know if we do need to have a security room. We've already got a security room there and a security room there. But it is an option. The other option is that we have... Do you want to make it a bit bigger? What would it be for making, say, 2? It would be that size, wouldn't it? And that would be the size of the solitary. Problem with that is that if we wanted more rows, we'd have to massively cut into this in a protective custody. Let's see what that would look like. So that would be our solitary, and that would be protective custody. Protective custody would have a security room in the centre, like so. It would then open up into an area that would be quite large. These would be the cells. Probably graded as well. Although we could probably move them back a little bit. 3x4s. No. 3x3s maybe. Whichever way it's going to be odd. And how many would I get in? Not many in that one. I'm looking for around about the sort of 10 to 12. Okay. What I'll do then, I will probably have something like that. And then extend that to there. Keep pausing it. That's not going to be graded at the right size. It's all just one off, isn't it? Always one bit, a little bit off. Anyway, I'm not going to stress over it too much. It's roughly that. But then we'd have the same on this side. Or we just have it as 1, 2, 3, and even a 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in total for that one. And then the rest of the one there. So that's 10 protective custody. Considering the amount of prisoners we're going to get, it's probably a bit too small. So I will get rid of that. Have that go up there. This will come down, and then this will be our protective custody. Because remember, we have to put in all of the amenities in there. We need to put TVs and all the common room stuff, and indeed all of the canteen. So it needs to be all in this building. So that's why we are having quite a larger building. This for our solitary is not bad. This would give us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 solitary cells, which in the first instance is fine for this. Obviously, when we expand to the north and south, they will have their own solitary. The one at the top, which will be the high risk, will be a lot smaller, with probably not even toilet in there. The ones down the bottom will probably be as good as a basic cell. So we'll see how we get on, and let me click that one there and get that sorted. Either way, not too bad at all. We got the expansion done, which I didn't expect to happen. Let's do a bit of a... let's actually do a tunnel search all areas. And yeah, we've got a lot of the extra rooms around here sorted. So we've got obviously the library and the parole and the mail room sorted. We've got this extra building down the bottom sorted, and indeed the left-hand side planned. So next episode we will put in the wall around the outside. We'll probably do solitary, and then we'll do protective custody. Probably roughly in that order, but we'll see, as always, how we get on. As always, if you have enjoyed the video and the series thus far, comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings. And there's a bit of violence in the shower. Not entirely sure what has caused that. Snitch. Yeah, we should probably get that protective custody stuff started, shouldn't we? Yeah. Okay, we'll see you next episode.